Hello, dear friends. This is Andrei Habratov. Please tell me how well you can hear me. Dear friends, please give me your feedback about our sound check. Thank you very much for your tens, for your pluses. Welcome all. And today, who can tell me how many language rooms do we have open today? 12 languages altogether. Great. And how many people do we have in every room? We have 105 people in the English-speaking room. What about Hindi Manipuri room? Could you please tell us about the number of people there? "30 persons in Hindi, 25 Tamil, and in Manipuri 15. And we have 14 persons in the Arabic room. What about other languages? Dutch, we have 14 persons, 48 in Vietnamese. 48. Did you mention all the languages? Okay, quite likely that we did. This meeting will last for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half if there are a lot of questions. And let's start. I'd like to introduce the new updated program for the investment consultant. And dear friends, we move to a new stage of development and we said this 1-2 years ago, that gradually we will transit to a new era of development and we will train investment consultants. And since we are entering the market of large business, and we must do it in line with all the regulations applicable in those countries where we operate. And since the Academy of Private Investor will celebrate on the 15th of September its 10th anniversary, so there was mostly the Russian-speaking audience when it was established, but representing 15 countries back then as my followers. And this year we are celebrating our 10th birthday, and I would like to give you personally our program for the investment consultant and professional investor of 4 categories. So therefore, please be attentive, and in case of any questions, please take note of them, and in the end, we will come back to them. Before I start, I'd like to ask you an important question. Please tell me, in particular, those people who already act as investment consultant, but they're not certified yet. Please tell me who you find more convenient to work with, those people who are knowledgeable about investing, at least they study investing, or those people who say, I will give you money and return me back 20% per month. So if the first variant, give me 5, if the second one, 1. Quite recently, there was an example I will give you. I was in Moscow and the traffic police officer stops me, starts checking my documents, insurance. I asked him whether I violated. It was a regular check. And he asks me, are you doing investments? And the academy, so there was a branded car. And he's asking me, are you in cryptocurrency? I am saying yes. And which currencies do you invest? We invest in many, top 50 or top 150. And he's asking me, and what would you advise me to buy? And I tell him, before you start buying, you must study. And he says, I have no time. And he opens his mobile phone and there is a book order. And I recommended some cryptocurrencies, but look, it's not feasible. Before you start investing in such risky interventions, you must study, and therefore take note of this statement. I heard it for the first time in 1991 at one of the workshops on investment. It was in Nicosia, Cyprus, and I went for training on investments, and I heard one statement of one speaker. If a person has no appropriate investment mindset, it's senseless to invest. He will lose it. And this traffic police officer who stopped me, this is a result. It's senseless for him to invest. He will lose. Even if he earns for some time, he will lose it eventually. There were cases in India, Russia, the United States, Latin America as well, I believe, that people were motivated by our consultants or managers, leaders of the company, encouraging them to invest now, and 3 months after you will earn 20% a month. And people took some loans, although the agreement specifies that you have no right to borrow, to invest, or the last money you take from your families, and you have no right to invest money that is your last penny. You must learn to invest, study 8 rules of private investor, and then start investing. And judging by your responses in the chat boxes, I see your 5s. It means that all of you would like to work with investors. I call them conscientious investors, reasonable ones who understand what and where to invest. In terms of the promotion, I will come back to it. It is extended until the 26th, as it was not translated into all the languages, but in the end, we will come back to it. Okay, let's start my presentation. Next slide, please. Give me one, if it is the first time you attend our corporate webinars where I host them. So either closed webinars or some training webinars. Give me one, please, if this is your first webinar of this type with myself as a host. I see several people in the Russian speaking room, 3, 4 persons. Great. I will introduce. I am Andrei Havratov, and I've been in investing since 1997. So for 24 years, I am an author and the CEO of the Academy of Private Investor. And before that, in 2011, I started online Academy of Private Investor and then launched it in September of 2011. I am the author of the concept of the new economic evolution of the world, multidisciplinary professional investor, consultant for the preservation, augmentation, and management of private capital, the best coach and business trainer on financial and investment personal development in 2018, according to Mellon Rich and Finance Time journals. Well, dear friends, the new program of the Academy of Private Investor for the investment consultant plus profi investor category 1. And as I said before, the Academy celebrates its 10th anniversary, and dedicated to this anniversary, we design a new course, never before, and non-training education provides something similar in finance and investment. That's for sure. And if you aim to get new knowledge and you are interested in investment in different segments, there are 22 investment segments altogether. And if you are interested in financial, stock, currency, and cryptocurrency markets, you would like to study and learn more about venture capital and sophisticated investment programs such as crypto and blockchain investments, crowdfunding, and crowd investing, then this training is specifically for you. Next slide, please. The training starts on the 15th of September 2021. It will be done online, and until the 20th of November it will last. But those who come to Dubai for 2-day training, you will learn the dates. Offline, there will be the certification and testing and award of the certificates, and we are preparing the pins for the investment consultants, but the conditions will be announced a bit later. So this is a completely new approach to investment education in the training of private professional investors and independent investment consultants. There will be 2 sessions online. The timetable will be later, and there will be a 2-day offline training lasting 14 hours with the award of certificates for those who have at least 80% performance at the final test. Next slide, please. Those who fail to come to Dubai and buys this course, dear friends, after the 20th, until the 20th, there will be the course, and within 1 year, you can answer all the questions of the test and get your certificate of the investment consultant and profi investor of 3 categories. So what is investment consultant plus profi investor category 1? So it includes profi investor of category 1 and investment consultant. So the prof investor category 1 includes prof investor category 2, and there is prof investor category 3. So there are different categories. If you have limited investment and you would like to invest under $10,000 a year, then you need category 1, whereas category 2 could invest under $100,000 into the investment ecosystem of new ecosystem investment instruments. The prof investor of category 3 could invest under 1 million, and investment consultant could be only the person who takes the training for the professional investor of category 1. So this is the professional consultant plus professional investor of category 1, 4 in 1. Well, investment consultant itself is designed, this is an educational program designed to develop specific investment skills of those consultants and advisors who are already in the field of finance, stock market and currency markets, and who would like to get the greatest opportunities in the crowd investing and crypto investing technologies industry. And this course provides not only theoretical knowledge about the financial markets and stock markets, but as well as currency markets, blockchain technologies, cryptonomics, and crowd investing. And this course will allow you to gain practical skills in the established new economic ecosystem markets. Well, which courses will you take as part of the course for the investment consultant? Look, investment consultant is the investor of category 1. We have the professional investor of category 2 as well. So professional investor of category 1, and this professional investor, if he wants to make money on the financial investment market, he can take a course from the academy and will make money. And the money I will explain. Well, which lessons or topics are we going to study? Fundamentals of investment consultant, invest consultant specialization, prospects for the development of the profession. And look, the occupation of the investment consultant is highly demanded. Why? Because there is over 100% per one consultant, the demand is from 80 to 100 people. But unfortunately, none higher institution or other financial institutions train vast disciplinary specialists. They train either traders or very narrow-minded specialists or professionals in trading of physical goods and assets, but the way we do it, you won't find it. So as we start providing this course, you can compare the content with other programs available on the market. Well, the next topic is what will be the demand market for investment consultant. And as I said, at least 80, 150 people per one investment consultant, and you must respond very quickly and serve your clients quickly. I will repeat it, that approximately from 80 to 100 from 50 to 80 clients to be served by one consultant, whereas today there is a demand of 1,000 persons per one investor. This is multi-profile investment consultant, as there are a lot of narrowed consultants, whereas multidisciplinary or multi-profile consultants, they are in shortage. The next one is how to create extra income from your brand and how to create and plan a personal brand for investment consultant. You must start developing your personal proprietary brand today. We will discuss it so that you are treated as an investment consultant. How to create extra income from 50 to 300% of your current salary. If to say today, we have a lot of partners who are employed and they work with us. There are partners who work solely in multi-MLM, and they are partners of EVA-rich companies. And after taking this course, you can improve your income from 50 to 300% of your today's salary. And one of the points which is available only in the investment business is that some companies already say that they pay for this, but there are some companies, unfortunately, who actually pretend to pay this way, but when we requested some reporting, they failed to provide it. But what is the income are we talking about? So your income could be from the profits generated by your investor. The more your investor earns, the more you earn. And it means that you could earn more from different segments of investing. And look, you may work independently with our company or any other company. You are free to do it. And there is a possibility to get profits on income of your investor. The more your investor earns, the more you earn. And this is one of the developments of myself. I said it about 10 years ago when I said, and I always dreamt of establishing of such a project where there is a possibility to earn as an investment consultant, not the commission from different companies when you are paid some commissions, but you will have a share in the profits generated. Number 6, smart investment technology and how to show the client what you see in an offer when you offer any investment instruments to a potential client. As quite often people are negligent and they don't see, they may be too persistent, and it is important to identify the needs of a person, to identify his type of investor, this type of investor, and make an appropriate offer. And here we will study the use of different options to help the client to make their own decision. Because the uniqueness of investment business is the following. If a client likes what you what you offer, and you teach him to save 10% for the investment, then literally you create a client who will on a systematic basis make his investments, and you get two in one: the commission from raising investment, and you get a share of profits generated. And the higher the profits generated, the higher your earning is.
Point 7, top 10 investment markets for working with your potential clients. We're going to look into the top 10 markets which you will have to use with your client. And then 8, what investment strategy techniques should you be shown in order to identify the investor's level and understand the investment strategy for that client? Well, this is what I was talking about. It is very important to understand at what level the client is. If they are at the smart investor level or speculator, trader, or a long-term investor. So, for example, if they are a long-term investor and you try to sell them some risky investing or trading investing, like intraday trading, speculation, they won't agree to that. Or, for example, you are talking to a speculator how their investments will grow in the long run. But if they are a speculator, it's a different strategy. So what you need to do is you show them how they can make quick money with us and how they can buy low and sell high. If it's a beginner investor, then they need some very safe investments. And we're going to learn how to do that. 9, levels of risks to be shown to the client in decision making. Very often, when you show only the income, they say, wow, I'm rushing off to the bank and take my money from the deposit and do it. Because some banks offer you for example, you can take a loan at 5% per year, and then you invest that loan to make 36% return. And this is wrong. This is categorically prohibited. You should safeguard your client from them. You should not invest loan money, borrowed money, because any investment is associated with risks. And we're going to learn how to convey the information correctly to the client to make sure that they do not use the borrowed money for investing, or they do not use their last money. So they need to learn how to put aside, earn more, and only then they can invest part of the saved money into different projects. 10th, trading strategies in investing that may suit the client depending on their level of investors and what course they have taken as a pro investor. So trading strategy is not necessarily speculative, but the one that you can use a terminal. You go to an exchange and you create your own investment portfolio. You use any kind of application or terminal, as it's called, and buy your shares, stocks, ETFs, etc. And for that, you need some understand fundamentals of investing. Let's go to the next slide. 11. What are the pitfalls of working with clients? Well, there are lots of pitfalls, hidden reefs, and you need to know them, because when a client comes over and start demanding their money, they ostriches, hide their heads in the sand or run away from the client, and they shouldn't. This is what causes negativity, whereas you have to learn to handle negativity, and we will do that, how to handle negativity, objections, and how to work with clients. I had clients, millionaires, they invested part of their money. I explained them all. They signed the agreements. They signed no disclaimer agreements as well. But then 3 years later, when the project didn't take off the way it should have, they say, look, this is some nonsense. I want my money back. And you try to explain them, talk to them. And that's why we have the professional investors courses. And before a person invests money, they will have to take courses first, and only then they will be able to invest. Next, portfolio strategies that can be adopted by clients and how to work with portfolio managers, because we already have a number of managers that we work with in our company, in the new ecosystem. And most probably you are going to work with some portfolio managers, and you need to know how to work with them and how to work in such a way so that both the client and you make money. 13th, digital guarantees and new digital economy technologies. This is the digital guarantees part, very interesting approach. Here we will partly look into it, but we have special schools lessons on digital consultants and managers. 14th, real estate markets and how to work with them in investment consulting. Very important sector, because even now in the real estate market, you can make 100% return. Well, maybe not 100, maybe it's too much, but sometimes it can be 100% per month. But 50% per month is totally realistic. Return on investing. Yes, we're not talking about $1 million of investments. It's around $35,000-$50,000, but you can still make 50 or even 100% per month as your return on investments in real estate markets. So you will learn how you can ensure capital gains of like 1,000% in 10 years, so that you understand how to deal with clients who want to work only with real estate. 15th, building a client base that will allow you to retire in 4-8 years with a sufficiently high return on your investments. So you need to understand the following: approximately 10 to 20 clients will have an income of $2,000 to $5,000 would yield you an income. If it's up to 100 clients per year, you will be able to make from $20,000 to $50,000 per year only from investing consulting. Next, methodology for attracting customers in your regions. You will get those techniques, how to attract clients. PR and marketing, fundamentals of building rapidly growing client bases. 18th, artificial intelligence and digital doppelgangers, or as we call them, digital twins, doubles in investing. Next, fundamentals of public speaking and motivational presentations for your business, because for you to be able to work with like a group of clients, you need to be a public speaker. 20th, creating a business plan for your life for the next 50 years. Very important topic as well, because if you want to become an investment consultant, you need to realize why you are doing it. Do you want to make $1 million, $2 million, and then leave it, quit it? Or do you want to receive continuously growing income from that? And 21st is quick start algorithm. So those are the topics, lessons, and courses that we're going to take within the investment consulting, including the 2 offline training days in Dubai. Some of the topics will be started before Dubai, those 2 sessions in Dubai, and those who won't be able to attend Dubai, then you will be able to attend those courses online until the 20th of November. Now, after everything I told you, give me a 10 in the chat if you would like to learn all those techniques and become an investment consultant. Well, if possible, could you please tell us, like from other chats, how many people who don't want to do it? So we have almost unanimously 10 people, people giving 10s. Well, there is 1 minus 1. Someone says, I would like very much to do that, but I don't have confidence enough. Okay, this is exactly for people who don't have enough confidence. You take it step by step. So first you learn to invest and become a professional investor in any category. And then you take the professional consultant, professional investor plus investment consultant. So this is also very lucrative, because right now we have a huge discount. It's a 4-in-1, and I don't think we'll have such a promotion, such a discounted price anymore in the future. So you can go through 3 categories of the professional investor plus investment consultant, and then you can defend your title or qualification within 1 year. Now, who needs the Academy of Private Investors investment consultant course? First, for those who are already working in the investment market, stocks and currency markets, and are ready to open up to new and progressive areas in investing. Second, someone who thinks that investing in investment consulting can become their life's work, their main activity. I once back in the day realized that I love investing and would like to do investing. And then I saw that this is the work of my life, that this is what I wanted to do, that after receiving knowledge in investing, I started sharing that information with my friends, relatives, family members, with everyone, like for free. I have lots of video lessons on investing free. And this is for such people. And then the third category of people is experienced investors who have already created millions and tens of millions of dollars, but they ran out of steam, and now they're looking for a new experience with their business. And for those people, it will be very interesting to work for us and work as investment consultants. Fourth, for those who have already had some more negative results from investing than positive ones, who lost more than earned, who may have already lost their money to pyramid schemes and dishonest companies. So for those people, this is a must-have course. Fifth, this is the first time you have heard about the investment consultancy program and you are keen to start exploring the industry. So yeah, you should go for the course 4-in-1. 6, for those who already work in multi-level crowd investing or in the crowd investing market or crowdfunding. So if you're in that industry already, then you should attend this course, because in our system, those investment proposals that are already there and will be there in the next 2 months, only people who are investment consultants will be able to promote them. Just Evo-Rich partners or even professional investors, they will not be able to raise investments and talk to potential clients. This will be a no-no. Only if you are an investment consultant, you can manage clients in the area of investing. 7th, all those who are already professional investors or who have just started on the path of learning the science of investing, those who took the qualified or accredited investors courses of professional trading, or those who have started this for the first time. And 8th, most importantly, everyone who takes the course or will take it a little bit later, you will be the highest paid investment consultants from the Academy of Private Investors for the next 3 to 7 years. I already explained why. You're going to be very high paying, because we're preparing multidisciplined investment consultants, because we're going to look into 22 sectors of the investment market, and in every sector we will offer you some training in investing, different sectors, and people who will be working with you, and then we're going to have some support follow-up sessions. We're talking about people who will have at least 25 years experience in the investment business, investment consultant. Let's go to the next slide. Now, let's break it down. The cost of the investment consultant program is 10,000 units, which equals $10,000. If you're a private investors club member, you can enjoy a discount of 35%, and then the cost will be 6,250 units. If you stick to the end, you will know how much you can pay for the 4-in-1 product and what kind of discount you can enjoy. So how much it would take for people who never tried investing in their life. It's 400, 800 hours. You can spend 2-3 hours a day, and you can learn everything and pass the test in 300, 500 days, 1 year, year and a half. So at first you will have to, if you're a complete newbie, you first have to take the category 3, take category 1, 2, 1, and then investment consultant. It's all be available online. There will be recordings, and you will have those things for at least a year, and then you will be able to take the test and receive the certificates of professional investors for 3 categories, 1, 2, 3, and then you have, of course, to score more than 80%. If it's difficult for you, there will be follow-up sessions where you can ask questions and you will be helped. But those people who stick to the end of the webinar, they will be able to listen to hear the discounted price. Very good. I think you'll enjoy it. Then the next one, Elite Professional Investor Category 1 program. So we discussed professional or investment consultant, and now let's talk about Category 1, which includes Category 2 and 3. The program includes 8 courses or 129 lessons. And after the tests, and if you score 80%, then you get the certificate of Category 1 Professional Investor. So you'll have to take a qualification exam. It's an exam in the form of test questions. And then there will be some requirements you have to meet. And then it's knowledge on investing, preserving, and multiplying capital, to lead a debt-free life, and to obtain a source of passive income from investment business from 15 to 35% per year, which is guaranteed by Category 3. Category 2 will allow you to invest at least 20 to 50% of your yearly income, and Category 1 professional investor knows how to invest their money and have a return on their investment from 35 to 100% per year. Let's go to the next slide. Well, now, what does the elite program consist of? It consists of 8 courses. We now know what the investment consultant is, and now we can discuss the Category 1, 2, 3 professional investor. So first, it's the investing fundamentals and first steps in private investing. So the first 10 lessons, first 10 topics out of that long list was Category 3. Then we have Advanced Private Investors course, Stock Markets and Portfolio Asset Management. This is already Category 2. And then if you go and see the 5th topic, which is, or 6th topic, the Forex currency market, history and outlook, benefits and risks for private investors, cryptocurrency markets and blockchain technologies, it's already Category 2. And then Category 1 covers everything here: investing, first steps, advanced private courses, stock market, global public and corporate finance, then the evolution of modern digital decentralized policy making, then the Forex currency market, history and outlook, benefits and risks for private investors, then the venture capital and business equity market, the cryptocurrency market and blockchain technologies, and globalization in creating investment portfolio. What are the advantages? What are the pros and cons? So this is the Category 1. And when you're Category 1, you'll be able to handpick investments and categorize them not only by their return, because when people see the return, they forget about other factors. They don't forget that you also need to take into account the risk factors and the risk of losses, how much you can lose on that investment. So the skill of creating a balanced portfolio that would not simply be balanced, but will also be ever growing and have a high yield, high return on investment, is an art. The art of preserving the capital is also about being able to have a balanced portfolio with hedging of risks and diversification, because a person can be considered protected in investing if they are able to allocate instruments in their portfolio adequately. Next, there will be test questions and certification of Category 1 professional investors. So all those topics, they are included in Category 1. And you can go step by step, first Category 3, then 2, then 1. And you go deeper, deeper, and deeper. And then you receive your certificate. You can print it out. Or if you want to, you can order a very beautiful, nicely printed in the printing house certificate, not on a computer, in a good frame. And we can deliver it to you by mail. Let's go to the next slide and let's discuss more in detail what kind of courses are in. Let's first discuss for whom this program is created for. And here I would like to address people who are ready to learn to become an investment consultant and explain to you the purpose, why you need to be an investment consultant. Those people who want to invest in the instruments of the new ecosystem need to be professional investors of any of the categories. And one of the tasks of the investment consultant is to create professional investors. So why do want to implement the new economic evolution in the world? And then I asked questions to our community. Do you want to implement the new? And they all say yes. But unfortunately, with 1.7 million registered users, out of those 1.7 million users, we have very small number of the conscientious investors. Maybe 5% is tops. All of the rest of the people are people who received quite a lot of bonuses for free, CRU points, who then received CRU tokens. Without really knowing what they're doing, they're dumping their own future because they are not conscientious investors. And if they were at least category 3 professional investors, people wouldn't be doing those silly things they're doing. And CRU would cost at least 50 cents to $1, maybe even more. So one of the tasks of the investment consultant is to create professional investors, to raise them, to identify how much people would like to invest, help them look into investing. And also they would make money from investing consulting, and they would also help create income to their professional investors of any category. So this is created for those who have a great desire to learn how to invest, but do not yet know anything about it. Those who have had more negative than positive experience in investing, but also would like to learn about it. For those who have had experience of losing money from unscrupulous companies or pyramid schemes and would like to learn how to really grow their money, make their money grow, and protect their savings. Fourth, for those who have debts and want to pay off their debts faster, create another source of income in the investment business. Fifth, for those who want to learn how to create returns on their investments of at least 15 to 35% per year. And sixth, for all those who would like to understand and realize what it is like to have a 300, 1,000% return on their investments per year. So if we have such people here, then professional investor training is for you. Let's go to the next slide.
Well, those people who would like to create a capital of 1 million and higher over a period of 5-10 years with the least amount of risk and high security. Those people who would like to distinguish financial pyramids and non-bona fide companies. So those people who would like to learn how to test without losing money, this course is for you. Those interested in learning about stock, foreign exchange, and cryptocurrency markets and manage their capital. And quite interesting markets. I know that people lose money on stock markets. And actually, when in 2008, there was this financial crisis, I know some people who invested a lot in stock market of the US, and it collapsed 75% starting from 2008 to April 2009, literally. And people having the capital of 2 million in mid-October 2008 had a capital of about 200,000, but when they got this money back, so it was 180,000, whereas over this time they invested 300,000 and they hated investment building. And when I opened the academy in 2010, 2011, they were critical about investing, saying that this is bullshit. And look, I told them, because you were greedy, guys, and there is one of the rules of a private investor that your being greedy lead to your bankruptcy. Look, yes, you became bankrupt, but you were invested in low risk instruments. There were no medium risk instruments or high risk. That is the market collapse. And look what happened until 2011. The market grew up from 2 million if you did not buy. It could be almost 4 million in 2011, but you were upset that the market is collapsing and you sold out. and you actually caused bad to yourself, not the market. And therefore, normal stock market or companies, so they are quite good companies of the United States, you should not sell them out. Those people who would like to learn how these markets operate and what it means, how it operates, so you are to study stock market, foreign exchange market. I know that many people lost money on Forex. Look, when your head is painful, your hands are not are always moving. So I trained some students, and why I started to pay a lot of attention to the philosophy, investment philosophy or psychology of investment, because two persons invested into the same instrument. One of them has super profitability, whereas the other lost almost 80%. Two persons invested in the same instrument on Forex. One invested, and when there was this decline, he says, well, I will look what will happen next. And then after this collapse, some currency pair, actually there was a skyrocketing trend, and he actually returned it back. Whereas the other one, when he had almost 80% collapse of his investments, he started to sell out, and 6 months after he had this result, whereas the other person was doing nothing, was waiting, and his result is almost 1000% in 3 months. So you are to study these markets, how to treat them, how to perceive them, how to be able to analyze them, technical analysis of these markets. So the next one, financial plans for all categories and levels of investors. We will study financial plans because each category of professional investor, category 1, 2, 3, there are different financial plans you will create on your own, and we will learn how to do it. Those who are interested to understand the modern financial systems and how to protect yourselves against inflation, hyperinflation, and world crises. There is hyperinflation in the world after the pandemic stroke. In the United States, they printed almost 10 trillion US dollars. And now, if you saw over 1 year, the metal price grew up 110%, wood price 300% almost, and for many commodities, coffee including, there was double increase, if I'm not mistaken. Why? Because there is a lot of money printed out. So whether we want it or not, generally hyperinflation leads to financial crises and collapses. You are to learn to actually analyze the markets and to cash out. What does it mean to cash out? You have the money on hands, and then when time comes, you may buy everything cheap. And on the one hand, it's bad that the US government prints a lot of money, but on the other hand, I understand a little bit the US government, because in 1929 there was a terrible situation that was in the United States, 1929. The crisis after which there was a full collapse of the stock market and the so-called depression, world depression, stepped in, and many people were affected on the stock market. It was quite clear, it is clear now, but back then it was not clear. People lost their money, and the rich people with big money, whereas a lot of people had no money at all, and therefore not to repeat the same mistakes made back then, quite likely this is the reason why money is being printed and hyperinflation is there. It exists, and it will be followed by the world crises, and you should be fully equipped. And your knowledge in finances and investment is the best weapon to protect yourself from inflation, hyperinflation, and global crises. Those who are interested in understanding why there are high yield programs and hedge funds and how to identify them for your portfolio. Unfortunately, there is such a term hype, to hype, but hypes, if translated from English, they are high risk programs, and there are hedge funds. And many people don't understand hype programs and this hype investing and hedge funds, and they start investing, and generally they face financial pyramids. You are to distinguish between hype foundations or hedge foundations and these hype companies. And there are a lot of investment hedge foundations in cryptocurrencies, and you are to know them. And if you are interested to know it better, this program is designed for you. And lastly, those who are interested in understanding how to work in the stock markets and create portfolios with high portfolio returns of 2 to 5% per month. So this course aims at you, that's for sure, targets you. Well, now, dear friends, once again, investment consultant professional investor is 4-in-1. Let us have a look at the price. Investment consultant 10,000, professional investor 5,000. If he does it gradually, first of all, he pays for category 3 of 500, but if he has the investment consultant, he will get a discount. So the professional investor of category 2, 1,000, and professional investor of category 1, 35%. It means that he will pay 3,250 instead of 5,000. And if you buy it separately, and when you buy category 2 after category 3, you have a discount. Look, if you buy separately professional investor category 3 separately, then category 2 and then category 1, for category 1, you will have a discount. And in case you are a member of the club of the professional investor, you will have a discount. And if you are a member of the club of the professional investor, so there will be a 35% discount. But look, what are the discounts offered today? Category 1, the price is 5,000 units. The investment consultant price 10,000, 10,000 plus 5, 15,000, and subject to a discount from yesterday until noon, the 24th of August, the date is not corrected, as it is extended until the 26th of August this year. Until the 26th of August, with full payment, it will cost 2,000. You may save 13,000. An installment cost is 3,200. Installment is for 4 months with a payment of 800 units. Could you please make this slide smaller, please? As the one person in the chat complains about the skyrocket prices, crazy prices. It's a bad word, crazy, but if the prices are crazy, then you must firstly start what investing is, my free courses. If you believe that the prices are crazy, first of all, take advantage of those free courses. One of them is called additional income, how to create additional income to start investing, and 8 rules of a private investor, study them. Then how to turn $1 to $1 million US, and a free course I have, which is about additional types of income. So take advantage of these courses, start studying investing, and then enroll a bit later when you understand that you need it. Otherwise, I had such clients, they told me I would go and earn 25% per month and then we'll come back to you and start earning. But the best investment, dear friends, and many clients of the company must understand that the best investment is investment into yourselves, your self-education. This is the investment that will never be lost. will never be deprived. It will never get sour, rotten. No one can steal it. I can give you my example. Can you please take one slide back? No, keep this slide, please. So I will give you an example when in 2008 I was bankrupt and my balance was minus $1 million US. My knowledge, all my knowledge, I refreshed them. Why? I went bankrupt. This is rule number 6. Laziness and greed lead to bankruptcy, to money losing, to the loss of your money. And in 3 years after, in 2011 already, at the end of 2011, my earning was much higher than before I went bankrupt. Whereas by the end of 2011, I had more money in assets than before I went bankrupt. Before bankrupt, in my assets, I had over $2 million US. And in the end of 2012, early 2013, I had the same amount in assets. Do you see? I restarted it, renovated it in 3 years. And I had some students who actually went bankrupt, but after they took the training, after 3 months, after completing this training, they doubled their income before they went bankrupt. And therefore, dear friends, until the 26th of August, if the payment is done fully, the price is 2,000. After this webinar, we may go and buy. If you buy in installments, then the price will be 3,200 units. And since the 26th of August to the 7th of September, the full payment will be 2,500 units and the installment price will be 4,000 units. And starting from the 7th of September to the 15th of September, full payment will be 3,000 and installment price will be 5,000. Installments for 4 months at 1,250 units per month. A person who wrote down crazy prices, I believe quite likely he has a smartphone costing 1,000 or 500 US, or quite likely has a TV set with a price of 1,000, 1,000 and a half. And a Hoover, for instance, costing 500,000, a computer, desktop computer that costs at least 500. And look, when a person has a TV set, although telephone could be bought at 200, 300, but when I see a person earns 1,000 a month and he buys a smartphone at this price, I don't understand such people. You can afford to buy this smartphone if your earning a month is 5,000. Or a car when the income is 3,000 per month, but he buys a car of 30,000. I'm surprised because the car should be bought at 5% of your income. If your monthly income is 5,000 multiplied by 12 months, it is 60,000. So you can afford only 5%. But when people get a loan from a bank to buy a car or a smartphone, and when he is told to invest into education, they start saying that it is too expensive or the prices are crazy. Although for a smartphone, Apple phone, it costs easily 1,000. A piece of iron costs $50 US, but the retail price of a smartphone is 1,000, and you believe it's not expensive. Look, guys, investment into yourselves, into your self-education is the best investment ever. And you know, some experience from my personal life. It was in 1995. One person I bought gasoline from after the collapse of the Soviet Union. There was no petrol at gas stations, and I had a gasoline vehicle, and I parked it next to the gas station and sold petrol. So the money was crazy. so it sold out easily. And one person I bought this petrol from, he asked me, aren't you fed up with this? I was fed up, but he told me, I'm going to Austria to get a training in finance. Come with me. And what is the price? 3.5 thousand Deutsche marks. So about 5,000. And you know, I told him, yes, I would go, but actually I was greedy. Why should I go there? I'm fine without this training. And then I thought, why should I actually train and study if I'm going to construct a gas station? And 1 year after, actually, I lost all the money. There was one company who actually raised a lot of money, saying that they will provide to us this petrol, some wagons, 240 containers of railroad containers. So actually, they screwed us up. And 1 year after, I came back, and there was quite a strange building, but then it was renovated into a fancy office, and I met that guy, and he was driving his good Mercedes. And it was the time there was one movie about the Russian gangsters, and we started to talk, and he said that actually it was a mistake for you not to go to that training. He asked me what I was doing, and I was going to construct one gas station. So actually we exchanged our details, and sometime after he gave me a phone call. It was 1996. There was Cyprus real estate in fashion. There was this purple suits worn by you rich people, and he proposed me another workshop on real estate. And you know, this real estate is bought quite actively by Russians and Ukrainians, and the price was 5,000 US dollars. And again, I didn't go. And then in 1997, when I was at a workshop of one insurance company, I realized that the money I lost it because I did not invest my money timely in education. And when after the bankruptcy in 2008, I studied from young guys, I met one guy. I was 42, but he was 24. And when he told me that he went to the course of Tony Robbins to the United States, and the price was 1,500, then he came back, and then the ticket was 12,000, and he borrowed some money because he had to stay at a hotel, some exclusive trainings by Tony Robbins, and he wanted to sit in the first row, and he spent 15,000 and at the same time borrowed 5,000. And I asked him, Sasha, why did you do it? You are 24 and you could spend your 10,000 on buying a car of 5,000, and you are single. You can go to a sea coast. I would do it this way when I'm 24. But he told me, Andrei, I understand one thing. Should I not invest then, I would still earn 2,000-3,000 a month. But after taking that training, today I earn 10,000-15,000 a month. And we worked together with him when we were on the internet business. His earning was 20,000-25,000. And today I know that his earning, I follow him, he's a business trainer. His earning is about 10,000-15,000 US dollars. This is what the investment into your self-education, the most profitable. And I will give you another example of 1992, a workshop at Cyprus. I invested 500 in my training and 500 to spend for my 1 week stay in a hotel. It was in October in Cyprus, and 4-star hotel. 1,000 spent altogether for my training, 500 for the training itself, another 500 for my accommodation and traveling costs, and another 500 invested. And in a year, sharp, 500 US dollars invested turned out into 5,000 US dollars. Why 5,000 US dollars? Because I became an investment consultant. I started to attract people. Those people I know when I was in MLM business, other merchants and entrepreneurs willing to invest, they invested and I earned my commission. So the maximum commission was 1% when I attracted $500,000 US dollars. But since I gradually invested more and more, the commission was paid, my assets increased and added up to those assets invested by myself. So 500 US dollars turned out into 5,000 in 1 year shop, 1,000% per annum.
For my investments, because I took the investing consultancy training. Let's go to the next slide, please. Well, there are many examples. Armand Murniex's, Mila Serdyukova's example, other top leaders like Dragar Stanchu, our Indian leaders, Australian leaders who invested in training, who went to different countries for training. And after training, they started earning many times over than they invested. So let's see. You save 87%. The course starts on the 15th of September, 2 online sessions per week. On Wednesday, we start on the 15th. Then we have the training from 1,500 hours to 1,800 hours online. And those who do not come to Dubai, you will be training until the 20th. And then within a year, you will be able to take your test questions and receive your certificates. For those who come to Dubai, you have to take test questions on investment, on professional investor category 1. As for the training for investment consultancy, it will happen in Dubai on the 15th, 16th, and then on October, and then on the 18th, on Monday, it's going to be Eventy. And that's where you're going to receive your certificates, and new ranks will be awarded a certificate, those who achieve new statuses or confirm their old statuses. And then the course ends on the 20th of November. There will be online testing, examination, and awarding of investment consultant and professional investor certificates. Those who come to Dubai and those who pass the professional investor test before Dubai, you will be trained for professional investing. And after training, you take the test, and if you successfully pass the test for both professional investor and investment consultancy, then you get, as Mila says, the dates are not yet clear. I thought yesterday we already settled on that. Okay, guys, do not take those dates for granted for now. Do not buy the tickets yet. But in any ways, on the 13th, 14th of October, we have a blockchain expo that we participate. Our company participates in it. So Mila says, for now, the dates are not really settled. We are waiting for the state license permit. So we booked the dates, but we wait for the permit from the local authorities. So the question is, guys, who would like to take the course of investment consultant at the prices that we showed you? Give me a 10 in the chat if you are willing to do so. Enjoy the discounts. I see someone already bought the course. If possible, could you please give us tell us what's going on in other chats? And those who wouldn't like to take this course, give us a 1 in the chat. Anyone already bought? Because I see already some people bought. So we have lots of people who already bought it. Italian, English chat, Spanish chat, and lots of people willing to take that training. And what about those people who will go to who will be in the first group of students for investment consultants? Give me a 15 in the chat if you are 100% sure, and give like a 100% guarantee that you're going to be in the first group of students for investment consultants. Give me 15 in the chat if you take that commitment. I see someone already purchased and gonna be 100% there. Okay, Thanks, dear friends. And again, those of you who already purchased it, you can take a look at the dates on the slide. You will receive a form questionnaire that you need to fill in before the classes start. And then it will be a Google form. So please fill it in your So sorry, guys, the room rebooted itself. So here you can see the prices, the personal and the leadership tickets, invitations. But you already know that the first batch of tickets, invitation letters, have been sold out already. I think both the personal 120 units and 480 were sold out. So it should be already 199 and 796 units. And then you should also remember that starting from the 7th of September, the invitations will cost 250 and 1,000 units if it's a leadership invitation. And I should also remind you that it's going to be only offline, live event in Dubai. There will be no online streaming. And if you want to imprint your name in the development of multi-level crowd investing industry, and it is a brand new, it's a pioneer industry. It's like MLM marketing that appeared in 1929, like last century. It's like it was a Californian vitamin selling company, and then in 1935 Vitrum, a company, appeared, and then in 1959 Amway came up, and the Amway was the like of trend-setting company. And then in 1975 there was a lawsuit against Amway. They wanted to recognize it as a financial pyramid. For 24 years they have been fighting against the Federal Commission on Trading, and they proved that MLM is a legit business. And those leaders who built the business in 1930s, 1940s, made history and are now remembered as the top leaders in the MLM business. And now the leaders who work in the multi-level crowd investing, and in 7 years, we'll be celebrating 7 years anniversary this year of multi-level crowd investing. We are creating a completely new trend. And those people who think that multi-level crowd investing leadership is their work's life, and then it's the right place for them to be, because to be an MLCI leader doesn't mean that you are also only an MLM leader, but you're also a high-level investment consultant leader. And we're going to award pins with 5 diamonds in them, and those pins will be awarded to people who attracted at least 20 people to the training of category 3 professional investor, and the raised capital of $1 million. And those consultants will be receiving their pins, and certificates can be awarded immediately after the tests are taken. Also, in multi-level crowd investing, it's only about raising money and being a good salesperson, because it is easy to sell something to a person. Like, you go to that person, tell them, look, invest money, and then in 3 months you're going to receive 20% on your return on your investment. It's easy, but very often it's cheating. It's telling lies for the company, to people. And in order to avoid that, we are now going to train professional top leaders in multi-level crowd investing, which is investment consultants. And their task will be to train professional investors, or prepare. And our goal is ultimately to have 1 billion people category 3 professional investors or higher. And when we have that 1 billion people of category 3 to 1 professional investors, that's what we're going to build and create the new economic evolution in the world. implemented. So dear friends, hurry up. If you want to make history in the multi-level crowd investing, then this is your chance. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yes, so these are the outcomes. The personal invitation ticket was sold out in 20 minutes, and the leadership at its first price was sold out 5 minutes after the start of the sales. So dear friends, you can see the demand. The demand is very huge, and the room can host only 500 people in Dubai. So if it's full house and everyone buys the tickets in literally 1 week, we're not going to extend it, because we already lost 3 good venues because we were waiting, and now we have only 1 venue left. And because the expo is being held and the state opened the borders, so all venues are booked out. And now I think we booked a venue for 500, 800 people. So those who are going to be there will be history making in the development of EvoReach. And EvoReach is our marketing company in training top leaders in multi-level crowd investing. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, and I will take some of your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Can we go to the next slide, or is it the last one? So this was the last one. Okay, let's go to the first slide, please. To the very first slide. Let's have it on. And meanwhile, I'll take some of your questions. Let's take 2 questions from each chat, okay? So what are the news for the Ural Gold and when Ugain is going to be launched? By the new year, we will put on the balance from 13 to 15 tons of gold. As for Ugain, it's almost ready. The only reason for the delay was that we couldn't synchronize Ugain and EvoReach, but they told us this week everything was okay. And as soon as for the purchases, for the bonuses to be accrued in EvoReach, we need to have both accounts synchronized so that Ugain customer base and EvoReach would have the same customer base. The next question, why Maria Antonenko left? Well, because her contract expired and she decided to follow her own path. And she's still in the blockchain enthusiast chat, and she would like to be a node holder. So there was quite a lot of intensive work, and she got tired in 2 years. So she decided to take a break. That's why she doesn't work. And guys, those who are going to attend Eventi, you will have some really interesting news for 4 interesting investment programs that the company will roll out. 2 of them will be for the category 3 investors who took the training, who have the certificates. They will attach their certificates, and only then they will be able to invest in that investing program. And this is the passive income instruments, where the return will be from 15 to 30% per year. Well, from 1.5% to 2.5% per month, with payouts every 3 months. And 2 more instruments will be for category 2 and category 1. 1 for category 2 and 1 for category 1. And those instruments won't be available to category 3 investors. And the return is going to be quite high. But you must understand, when the return is high, like 50, 100% per annum, the risks are high as well. And that's why people need to be educated. They need to understand the risks and how to manage those risks. Because if investor doesn't know how to manage their risks, they shouldn't be investing in medium or high risk instruments at all. Because low risk and medium risk and high risks instruments are for people who know how to manage their risks. And if a person doesn't know, they shouldn't invest. It's as plain as that. That's why we have professional investor category 1 with a higher return, but the higher risk. You cannot have a instrument with 1,000% annual return risk-free. The risk will be of 50, 80% losses, or even 90% losses. But you need to understand that. But then you should also understand that if you have 1,000 return per year, but not during year 1, but in 3-5 years, when you have 1,000% return, that's where you see that the risk, that it's totally justified, because in the medium long run, the risks get reduced because you have the reinvesting in other instruments, diversification. If one instrument is a complete disaster, then another instrument will yield a super income. I will take one more question from the Russian room, and then I will take a couple of questions from the English room too, and other questions rooms as well. So there is one person saying that as soon as $1, as soon as CRU becomes $1 on the exchange, I will buy the program for $13,000. So we're gonna have new prices. The next group of students will have to pay a different kind of price starting on the 16th of September. So it will be a one-off payment from $3,500, and installments it will be $5,000 to $8,000 per month, or for 8 months. So it will be either 500, 600, or 800 for 10 months. I'm sorry, dollars. And then the certificates will be awarded only when people graduate the courses. They take the training, they pay, and they receive the certificate. And if they do not pay and take the test, they don't get their certificate. So those who purchased that package, starting from the qualified investor or investment consultant, well, those who purchased the qualified investor per package will enjoy a discount. You will pay less for the investment consultant. So yeah, if you do your math, so let's. So the question is, will the partners without the required qualification be able to sell their own CRUs? So guys, I asked the question, will the partners without the required qualifications be able to sell their own CRUs? Guys, those who purchased WCRUs or converted their CRUs into WCRUs are the lucky ones. Because if you already purchased, you get to keep them. The only difference may be if when in your country, for example, when you have start receiving income, and our income is 100% legal, you will be able to receive all the documents. When you sell your WCRUs at $5, $10, you will have some documents to prove them. To buy a car, to buy real estate. Surely your regulating authorities in your country will ask you, where did you take that money from? And you will have all the documents. The company will provide it. And you'll say, look, here's all the documents. But they might also ask you, are you a professional investor, an accredited investor, a qualified investor, depending on what country you're in? And if you're not, then you might be subject to the local regulations, but it's beyond our control. I can tell you about Russia and the United States. because in Russia, a lot of laws are simply copied from the United States. So first they have it, and then we in Russia have it. So why the training for qualified investor, the group that we just had of students jumped in the last car? Because starting from the 1st of October, who have such a notion as a qualified investor, they call it accredited investor. But for that, you need to have $1 million yearly income per family, or you have a trading income of $5 million with a broker, something like that. So there are some requirements you have to meet to become an accredited investor. Or you go to a broker and you learn some narrow field specializations for working with ETFs, or to work in trading, or to invest. And in Russia, in July, a new law was adopted saying that the Russian nationals who are not accredited investors, qualified investors, cannot invest in complex investment programs. So if they invested before the 1st of July, so they are okay, they're safe. But starting from the 1st of the month, if a person invests into complex investment instruments or stocks and investment instruments of foreign companies, then they might face some problems, maybe a penalty or a warning or a fine, and there might be some, I don't know, judgment passed against them, maybe an administrative penalty or some other kind of fine. Because, for example, if a person doesn't pay taxes but regularly receive money on their accounts, next year they will have to pay 13% tax plus penalties. And if they do not register themselves as individual entrepreneurs, I know that in Europe, in the United States, it's already has been in force for quite some time now. So it will depend on the laws of your country. Hopefully I did answer your question.
There is another question, whether these certificates will be recognized abroad in other countries or not. If the regulator of your country recognizes, look, this is our internal certificate. We have a goal when we have from 10 to 50,000 investment consultants globally. In the United States, there is an organization, FINRA, under SEC, FINRA, and it is responsible, this public organization is responsible for education in investing. We have a plan. When in the United States, we have 10,000 investment consultants and profi investors, we will submit this program to this FINRA. Moreover, in the United States, Devin is mandated to find out which brokers we can work with, and investment consultants. When you take a training, we will tell you which brokers you may contact. You can contact anyone, but there will be some agreements with them of taking additional training where in your country locally you can become the financial or investment consultant or advisor. And our course is called Invest Consultant, not investment consultant in full, because in the United States there is a term investment consultant which is regulated by this FINRA, and we call our program Invest Consultant. This is an internal program of the Academy of Private Investor to secure our companies, first of all, that will have comprehensive investment programs, hedge investment funds, or a brokerage investment portal that is being prepared. Next year it will be ready. And for these investment dimensions areas, even if a qualified investor of any country says, can I invest? No, you must take the training from the Academy of Private Investor, and then you will be able to invest. And there are two reasons. As the training provided everywhere in Russia, in the United States, is very narrow, that does not provide understanding about those areas we provide. And if you took a training somewhere else, you will understand how different our training program is. You may discuss it with those people who were trained by the company. Olga Shentsina, Mila Serdyukova, Armand Murnieks, Valentin Sokolnikov, Ivan Poluyanchik. Then I know that there were some people from India, Harvinder, for instance. When some of our courses were translated in English, Harvinder Singh wrote me down that I'm so excited. I didn't know this knowledge. This knowledge is incredible. No one else provides it. Can assure you 100%. Therefore, in terms of local regulation, our certificate, yes, this is internal certificate, but I can give you an example. When in 2013, I trained people from two universities. One of them is from Russia, the other one from Ukraine, for the investment consultant. I phoned them back. Wasn't it a mistake? No, they say, we want to assign our lecturer to you. And I asked them why. We heard the announcement of these courses and the feedback of the student, your former student, your graduate, and we are excited because this student actually find some loopholes in the lectures of the financial lecturers we have in our universities. So this young guy is an expert in real estate, in stock market, and he's taking the training from our university, and he's always in dispute with our trainers. And he said that I took a course from Andrei Havratov in real estate, in investment, and we want our teachers to be trained by your academy, and then we will train our students without using my courses. And one case from Russia, yes, they are small higher education institutions in oil industry in Poltava, if I'm not mistaken, and in Russia in Perm or Pskov Oblast. So the teachers of these universities took my training course of the academy. And look, the expertise generated over 10 years and the practitioners, they are not theory guys, they are practitioners gaining experience over 7 years of multi-level crowd investing with their own assets that multiply monthly. There is an example, our top leaders that do appropriate investing, what happens? Some people wait for bonuses to be paid out to get this money. Yes, I agree. And we are negotiating with card issuers so that you could withdraw your bonuses to these cards, gold, platinum. But look, those leaders, top leaders, they withdraw checks. They don't withdraw checks. And I'm asking why. And as soon as the new back office is ready, the bonuses will not be kept by the company. Instantly, they will be sent to your accounts in Global Unit Pay. It will be kept there, not with the company. And those top leaders who are professionals in investing, they live on the return on their assets, on their assets and investment. Hopefully it's clear. And therefore, one of the key things here is that a training for profi investor and investment consultant provides you with one important thing, practical skills of living on passive income generated by your assets, Although MLM network is one of the best, and we will study this, one of the best investment propositions and investment instruments, self-growing. And unfortunately, if you buy some assets, Apple shares, for instance, they may not generate daughter shares of Apple or granddaughter shares of Apple shares. Or you buy real estate, and this real estate gets married and it gives birth to a daughter real estate. So it's not possible. You are to save additional money and buy either an Apple share or another real estate. But multi-level marketing business is unique, as this is self-growing business. First of all, you devote your time to your partner. He becomes the agent and consultant and manager, leader manager. And this is a self-growing business, generating passive income. And the second way to get passive income is to invest money. Then you attract other people to become investment consultant and you get the profits. So this is the second type of passive income, which is possible only in our ecosystem. So the Spanish room was most numerous, so please, your questions. Yes, we have some questions. One of them is the following. I bought a training course, personal finances and the fundamentals of personal finance. Will they replace it? Where did you buy it? Private investments. Okay, those courses you buy from the Academy of Private Investor and get as a bonus CIU points that later on turned into CIU tokens. These are the courses available from 2011 to 2019. These are outdated courses and you got a bonus. Whereas now this is a specialized course for profit investor category 1, category 2, category 3. The highest category is for traders. If you have children and your children like stock market, FX and stock market, crypto market as well, they could take this course. I have a dream of creating 1,000 traders at least. Together with Artyom, we will teach traders to earn from 1% to 3% a day. We prepare software where we will manage the risk of our traders. And with this software, they could work remotely from offices. In Moscow, there is one office, another one in the United States, the third one in India. And at any platforms, we can earn from 1% to 3% a day. So this is intraday trading. There is such a technology. And Prof Investor of the highest category is for those who would like to become professional traders. And since I saw there are a lot of people of above 35 years, whereas we have quite few young people, and therefore we can attract both females and males starting from the age of 18. We will teach them in trading, and the best performers will be employed by the company. But what is the job of a trader? I will give you an example. Andrei Kabanov manages only $5 million on financial market, and he is earning a month from this management is net from 1% to 3% per month. He earns from 5 to 10% of the profits generated for the company. This is quite a good earning, and therefore those traders that we have, they may earn from 10 to 20% of the profits generated. And the amounts under management will be different. If you are a beginner, you will manage to say under 5,000. But if you are experienced, then you will manage quite a substantial amounts. And if your commission is 1% of 10 million, this is 2 million. So, and his earning could be 200,000. And since we create the software that will allow us to control risks of our traders, they may not lose all the money entrusted to them, and the software will be designed under our technology. There are 15 technologies of trading. One trader may use one concept, another one, a different one. And this way, there will be teams of traders, young traders, who will act as managers of our assets. Since there are a lot of instruments, shares, stock, foundations, bonds, futures, mutual funds, options. These are all those options or instruments, ETFs, so where you can earn from 1 to 3% per day. Hopefully I answered this question. If you bought the course with CIU points attached, they were educational courses, and as a bonus you get CIU points. So they do not replace this training program. On the 16th of July, she bought it, and the course price was 2,000 units. The 16th of July this year, well, there is another question. Where did you buy this course from? The Academy or Everidge? While the partner is explaining, there is another question. People with no money to pay for the course, will they lose their investments made into the company World CIU or UNTB? And answer this question, please. Why did you say that this course will be only in Russian? Spanish speakers are very willing. And could you please extend the promotion until the end of the month? And there is a comment from the previous partner that the course was bought, the course costing 2,000 units was bought from the Academy of Private Investor. Andrei is answering, I'm surprised, 2,000 units. Is it a training course for NDE project or not? In the Academy, there is a course, Private Finance and the Fundamentals of Private Investing. So this course, 2001. Yes, you paid for this course, and the course you paid for, and plus the one that is offered right now, you don't need to pay something extra. Yes, you will be enrolled to this course. Those who paid for the training course, Private Finance and Fundamentals of Private Investing for 2001 under the promotion, then you will be enrolled to this course. And if you make your payment after the 26th, then you will need to pay additional amount. Look, Russian translation. Since yesterday, promotional information was only in Russian so that people understand what they buy. Therefore, it was extended until the 26th because they haven't managed to translate it. But the course will be done in 10 languages. and then it will be pre-recorded in studio. First of all, it will be via Zoom, but afterwards it will be pre-recorded in studio in 10 languages. So the Invest Consultant, the promotion is complete. I will find it out because I believe it should have been extended. Yeah, yes, it has been extended until the 26th of August. This one worth of 2,000. Do we have questions from Italian chat? Can we pay for the course in CIU or UNTB? For the time being, no. We planned to do it, but you can sell UNTB and CIU at Unitex Exchange and then convert them into the payment, and then through the payment system, make your payment. USDU, as soon as we are preparing a payment option in USDU, so you may sell CIU and UNTB at the exchange and with no problem make a payment. So, and then you convert it into the currency. Do we have any other questions? In Italian room, there are no questions. There is a question from the Arabic chat. The course about the language. So the course will be in 10 languages. All those 10 languages, which are our main core languages, this course will be available in these languages. Well, there are no further questions. Invest consultant of category 3. Does he get a certificate? No. Prof investor of category 3, he gets a certificate, and category 1 and category 2 get their certificates as well. There is another question of extension of promo until the 26th of August. Until what time? Until noon, 12 a.m. Moscow time. Could you please show again the slide with pricing? Look, until the 26th of August, the full price is 2,000 and installment 3,200. Since the 26th of August to the 7th of September, the full price, so the full payment is 2,500, and if it is installment, 4,000. And since the 7th of September to the 15th of September, the full payment, so the lump sum payment, this is 3,000 units, and if it is in installments, 5,000 units. There is a question, can we buy Prof Investor separately? Yes. After the 16th of September, products and landings will be ready with Profi Investor of category 3, 2, 1 to be bought separately. And separately, you may buy the course of the investment consultant if you take the third category. So we are preparing the first group of Profi prof investors category 3, and these products afterwards will be sold once in 3 months, because on the 20th of November we end, and then since the 18th of November there will be another group, and the sales of this course of Prof Investor will start quite likely from the 1st of November. Well, that is for today. We are moving to a new phase of professionalism. Professionalism is possible only when you become a professional and you make people professionals. First of all, I ask you a question: who you would like to work with? Conscious investors, conscientious investors who wait for investing their dollars and 10 years after they get 1 million, or conscientious investors who understand what the science of investing is. We would like to build our program, our concept of new economic evolution of the world with conscientious investors. They are professional investors of category 3, 2, and 1. And subject to our plan of 1 billion people, or 15% of global population, and in case 10 years after there will be 10 billion people living on the planet, then there should be 1.5 billion people. And most of them should be conscientious. Most of them will be of category 3, and I believe about 30% will be invest consultants, about 30% will be of category 1, some people of category 2 and of category 3 as well. But with these people, it will be very easy for us to create new, to move new, because of one reason. It is easy to move the market. If there are conscientious investors, then our CIU would cost at least 50 cents or $1, I can assure you. But since some people are not conscientious and got bonuses, a lot of them, they sell very cheap their CIUs. But I can assure you there will be event, and we will reach the price of 50 cents or $1, because those investors who are rather professional, they buy cheap and then they will push the price to 50 cents, $1, and those who sold cheap, they will feel pity. You could not buy from the back office as a lump sum. You can go to your back office and there you may choose. There is a selection. In API, there is the method of payment, monthly payment, and you scroll down to pay in full, and you see the amount in full, and you can buy it as a lump sum. Look. There is a parable, you know, in the end. Could you please show the first slide again? You know, long, long ago, Babylon, by the way, find the book. It is available on the internet, The Richest Man of Babylon. I recommend it to read it. And in the marketplace, there was a rich person in some long gowns with some bags of gold on his wrist, and he saw one stand with a heading, "Everything is sold." And he comes in and see some jars, pots, and there are the words prosperity, happiness, success, and this rich man says to a merchant, "Do you mean to say that I can buy happiness, I can buy wealth, I can buy success?" And the merchant answers, "We are simply selling seeds, and how you plant them and care of them, it depends on you." And my dear friends, both investment consultant and profi investors, We sell seeds. Yes, we share expertise and experience. We tell you what to do. There will be home tasks, but none except for you will open your brokerage account. None on your behalf will learn the algorithm of earning. If you need to practice trading technologies, the technical analysis to understand the trends, no one can do it instead of you. No one can teach you, only you can do it. And please understand this. Yes, it's very simple not to do. It's very simple to do nothing and to go to TikTok where you watch it and people seem to be normal, but they play some music, some song, and they whisper the words of this song. And this is what people like. But when you need to activate your brains, your head, and make it work in a productive way, a lot of people are too lazy. And our brains are lazy by nature, and you must learn how to force it work for your benefit. But those equipped with financial knowledge will never be conquered. And if you are not conquered, then none, including hyperinflation, financial collapses, you will never be conquered. And if you can inherit this to your children, I today teach my children so that in any point of time, they create the foundations, and any disasters that may happen on the planet, they could balance and be flexible and, conquer any situation. So be dry in any situation, from any water. And the financial education, financial literacy, unfortunately or fortunately, is the most optimal and the most demanded thing for financial growth. As many people, artists, actors, businessmen earn a lot of money, but then you see how fast they lose it, or YouTubers, they earn money, then start investing into some bullshit. And you see and understand that people without financial literacy simply lose their money. Therefore, my wish to you is to be able to multiply your money. And for this, you need to get financial knowledge and become investment consultant, profi investors, multi-profile investors. And everything will be fine with you, your children. It was me, Andrei Havratov, bye-bye. Instead of 1 hour and a half, we stayed together 2 hours. And if you already made up your mind, then share this possibility with your people so that we together start this new dimension, as this will be one of the dimensions that will be recognized as the top leader of the multi-level crowd investing. Wish you good luck. Bye-bye from me, Andrei Havratov.